a deeply emotional turn of events, Hollywood icon Brad Pitt is mourning the loss of his beloved mother, Jane Etta Pitt, who has passed away at the age of 84, known for her quiet strength, warmth, and unwavering support of her family. Jane Etta was more than just the mother of a movie star. She was a pillar of grace in the lives of everyone who knew her. The news of her death has sent waves of grief through fans, friends, and fellow celebrities alike, prompting an outpouring of love and remembrance for a woman who remained fiercely private despite her son's global fame. The heartbreaking announcement came early Thursday morning, as representatives for the Pitt family confirmed that Jane Etta Pitt passed away peacefully in her sleep, surrounded by close family members in her Missouri home. While no specific cause of death has been publicly shared, sources close to the family say she had been facing age-related health challenges over the past year. Brad Pitt, visibly devastated by the loss, issued a short but poignant statement. "She was our heart, our foundation. Losing her feels like losing the sun that lit up every room she entered." Born in Shawnee, Oklahoma, in 1941, Jane Etta grew up in the heartland of America. A devoted school counselor by profession, she spent much of her life helping children and teens navigate life's challenges, offering compassion, patience, and wisdom. Despite the glitz and glamour of her son's Hollywood fame, Jane remained rooted in her Midwestern values, kindness, humility, and faith. She was a dedicated wife to her late husband, William Alvin Pitt, and a proud mother to Brad and his siblings, Doug and Julie. Her influence on Brad was immeasurable. In interviews, Pitt often referred to his mother as his moral compass, crediting her with instilling in him a sense of integrity and emotional sensitivity that shaped his approach to both life and acting. In a private family memorial held in Springfield, Brad Pitt delivered a moving eulogy that left many in tears. According to attendees, he described his mother as the truest definition of love, recalling childhood memories, long talks, and the calming presence she brought into his life even during his most turbulent years, when I was lost. "She always knew how to bring me back," Brad said through tears. "She didn't raise a celebrity, she raised a man. And everything I am, I owe to her." Brad reportedly postponed several film commitments to spend time with his family and grieve away from the public eye. Close friends say he's been deeply shaken and is leaning on his children and longtime friends for support. The Pitt family has always valued privacy, and this moment is no exception. The memorial service was intimate and deeply spiritual. The close friends, extended family, and a few of Jane's longtime colleagues from the education sector in attendance. Jane Etta was known for her strong Christian faith, and her farewell reflected that hymns, prayers, and scripture readings filled the room with both sorrow and serenity. A beautiful slideshow of family photos played during the service, capturing Jane's life from her youthful days in Oklahoma to her joyful moments as a grandmother. Her daughter Julie said in a statement, "She was more than a mother, she was our best friend, our confidant, in the heart of this family. We'll carry her in every step we take from here on." As the news broke, fans and celebrities flooded social media with condolences, many expressing sympathy for Brad Pitt, who has always spoken so warmly about his mother, actress Cate Blanchett. Brad's co-star in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button wrote, "Jane was a quiet force behind one of the biggest stars in the world. She raised a beautiful soul. Rest in peace." Director David Fincher added, "She never sought the spotlight, but her influence was always felt. You saw it in Braden, his kindness, his empathy, his resilience." Fans shared their own stories of meeting Jane during charitable events in Missouri, remembering her as sweet, genuine, and incredibly humble. Jane Etta Pitt wasn't a Hollywood star, but she helped raise one, and in doing so, she touched the hearts of millions, not with fame, but with quiet devotion, fierce love, and an unwavering commitment to her values. She was the woman behind the man, a grounding force in the whirlwind life of one of America's most recognizable faces. Her son Brad Pitt. In many ways, Jane's influence on Brad in the world was subtle, yet profound. While Brad graced red carpets and global premieres, Chen walked a different path, one rooted in Midwestern humility, Christian faith, and a quiet dedication to family and community. As a former school counselor, she spent her life helping young people find their way, often acting as a compass for others, even as she guided her own children with gentle strength. She never sought the spotlight. But when she did speak out, whether about family, faith, or values, her voice was always measured and sincere. Those who knew her described Jane as someone who made everyone feel seen and heard. She was a mother in every sense of the word, not just to her 3 children, but to many who came through her doors or sat across from her. In times of confusion and pain, Brad often credited his upbringing for keeping him grounded. Behind every award he accepted, every role he immersed himself in, and every cause he supported, there was always an echo of his mother's guidance. In interviews, he would often speak of her compassion, her belief in hard work, and her emphasis on treating people with dignity, no matter their background. That was Jane. Her life may not have made tabloid headlines, but her impact was quietly revolutionary at 84. Jane Etta Pitt leaves behind more than a grieving family. She leaves behind a legacy of grace. Her marriage to William Pitt was a partnership rooted in respect and mutual support, and together they raised Brad, Doug, and Julie in Springfield, Missouri, with values that emphasize kindness, discipline, and a strong moral compass. In a 2012 op-ed, Jane briefly stepped into the public eye, defending her beliefs on marriage and family values, sparking both support and backlash. Yet even in the face of criticism, she remained firm, composed, and resolute. She was never one to chase popular opinion. She believed in standing up for what she felt was right, and doing so with love. That courage, rare in today's world, was something she quietly passed down to her children. Friends recall her warm hospitality, her homemade meals, her deep love for music, and her ability to listen without judgment. Brad once said that his mother had an uncanny ability to love people as they are, a trait that became one of her most defining characteristics. In the world of entertainment, where pressure and perfection often rule the day, Jane was a reminder that home is where you're accepted for who you are, flaws and all. Her role as a counselor left an equally powerful mark. Over the decades, Jane helped countless students navigate personal struggles, academic pressure, and identity crises. Many returned years later to thank her not just for advice, but for being a rare adult who genuinely cared. She didn't offer platitudes. Listened, she supported. She believed in recent years Jane had quietly stepped back from public life, choosing to spend her time with grandchildren, friends, and her church community. But her influence on Brad remained evident. His philanthropy, his interest in architecture, his deep concern for humanitarian issues, they all bore the fingerprints of his mother's compassionate worldview. Even in his Hollywood evolution from leading man to thoughtful producer, there was always a trace of Jane's steady hand behind his bold choices. The final moments of her life, sources close to the family say, were peaceful, surrounded by loved ones. Jane passed away, holding the hands of those who adored her most. Brad, along with his siblings, was reportedly by her side, offering prayers, memories, and a few final whispered words of gratitude. It was a farewell filled with emotion, but also profound peace. The Pitt family has requested privacy during this time, but released a short statement. Our mother was the heart of our home. Her strength, kindness, and unwavering love shaped our lives in ways we're still discovering. We'll miss her dearly, but celebrate the incredible woman she was. And that is perhaps the greatest measure of a life well lived, not the headlines or the fame, but the way your children speak of you when you're gone, in a world that too often celebrates noise. Jane's was a voice of peace, her moral clarity, her maternal warmth, her refusal to be swayed by passing trends. These are not things easily found today, but they are things desperately needed. And in that way, Jane Etta Pitt was not just a mother, but a quiet revolutionary. Her passing marks the end of an era for the Pitt family, but it also offers a moment of reflection for the rest of us. A reminder to honor those who shape us, not with applause, but with love. The people behind the scenes, the mothers, the counselors, the steady hands that guide us when the spotlight fades. Rest in peace, Jane. Your light may have dimmed here on earth, but it continues to shine in the hearts you helped mold, the values you taught, and the lives you touched. You taught us that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. And in that, your legacy is eternal.